Hey guys, my name is Amanda. Welcome to my channel. I am so happy to have you here today. If you are new to my channel and like what you see, please consider subscribing. If you do subscribe, please hit that bell button so you're notified every time that I upload. And also a big thumbs up really helps me out here on YouTube. I have a really exciting video planned for you today that I cannot wait to share. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Most of the items used to create today's DIYs are from the Dollar Tree. I love to keep my DIYs inexpensive. My first DIY is inspired by Clutterbug. Here's the beautiful, gorgeous wreath that she made. And here is mine, inspired by her. So not exactly the same, but I got this inspiration from her. She is so funny. I recently found her. I really enjoy her channel. So you'll need 6 ropes from Dollar Tree. Now my rope was the thicker rope. I believe it is 6 foot, but of course if you find a different size of rope, you can just adjust depending on what you think is best. But I gathered my 6 pieces up, I cut them in the middle, and then I took it and tied a piece of twine tightly around one end. So now I have 12 pieces. I'm going to begin braiding my 12 pieces with sections or groups of 4. Now she braided hers on top of her wreath form to help her get the shape. I just kind of braided mine on the table and then just adjusted once I laid it on top of my wreath form. But you can do whatever works best for you. I'm just spreading out each section so that all 4 ropes in that section are nicely visible. Once I come to the end of my rope, I'm going to have some more twine on hand to tie it up. Of course, you could use a zip tie or a pipe cleaner, a rubber band, whatever you have on hand. I am out of zip ties, so this is what I did. And then I just cut off the jagged ropes at the end. And here you have your thick and beautiful braid. Now I laid it down on top of my wreath form, which is the large wreath form that Dollar Tree carries, not the extra large, so one size down from the largest. Now, once I get it laid on my wreath form, I'm just going to arrange each section. I actually did have to untie one end and just kind of fix that, but it really wasn't too much trouble. And then I just kind of made sure my ropes were all tight and in position. I tied either end on with more twine. As you can see, each end is tied to my wreath form. I flipped it over and added a generous amount, a boatload I guess, of hot glue through the back, and then flipped it back over, and I glued each section down to the section before it, as you can see me doing. So my rope is attached to itself and not just the wreath form, but I did use a generous amount of glue. And if you wanted to cover the back of this wreath form with some craft paper or even some cardboard cut to size, that would be a great idea. Next, I'm taking some florals from Dollar Tree. Of course, you could customize this with any florals you like, but I just began with 4 before I realized I was going to need several more. These stems are a little sparse, but I just took 2 of them and swagged them either way like you saw me do, and I tied that to the wreath form and glued it down. Then for my other 2 stems, I took everything off and just began adding it around and onto the first 2 with some hot glue. Then I found in my stash probably about 5 more stems worth. So I'm going to say that I used about 9 stems to create the floral part of my wreath. Now, unfortunately, I did lose a little bit of footage where I had just taken some twine and wrapped it around the middle of the florals after I completed using the 4 stems so that I would have some surface area to glue my remaining florals to. And as you can see, they're just all taken off of their stem, and I'm just gluing them down where I think they look nice and where I think they should be. So for about $15, you can create this absolutely gorgeous wreath that's beautiful for a wall or a door. I just love it. I think it is so elegant, and I'm so glad that I found Clutterbug's YouTube channel. I can't wait to get more inspiration from her, so definitely check her out. I will have her linked in my description box. But again, you guys, this wreath is so customizable. Add any florals that you like. You could even spray paint your ropes if you want them a different color. Okay, let's talk about today's challenge. I host Recreation Inspiration every month on the 8th, along with my friend Charlene from the Crafty Art Shack. This month we're having Loli D's Creations, and I hope I said that right, but she is so sweet and so talented. We invited her to guest host with us, and she will be linked below in my description box. You will not be disappointed if you check out her channel. I will also have Charlene linked below, and each of the amazing creators that I am featuring today. My next one is Cindy from the Monarch Mom. I have featured her before. She is so creative. Her ideas are endless and amazing. Here are some of the videos that she has posted that are Farmhouse. So my ideas that I'm sharing today are inspired from these videos, not necessarily the same things that she posted, but I watched these videos kind of in a marathon style, and I got tons of ideas. Sometimes I like to rewatch videos too, and I get ideas that didn't come to me the first time. So for my next idea, I'm going to show you how I made this gorgeous little home round. Here's what it looks like. It was so fun and easy to make, and it's very customizable. So originally I was going to use this beaded wreath from Dollar Tree as well as this home sign from Dollar Tree. I ended up not using the beaded wreath, but Dollar Tree does carry that. I spray painted my home sign with Rust-Oleum's Vintage Blue, and I stained my medium-sized wood round with antique wax by just rubbing it on and then off. I left a spot in the middle of the round where I did not apply the wax, just so I could apply my glue there, because I have found that hot glue does not stick very well once it has been applied on top of antique wax. I then put these two rounds together, and I am using Waverly plaster to go over my home word. Once I get my word all done, I'm going to use the Waverly plaster remaining on my brush to go around the smaller home circle, just with a little marks all along the side. Right now I know that looks a little weird, but it's going to all be blended in. This actually came out really pretty. I'm taking a damp rag that I had applied some antique wax to and going right on top of those little dabs of the plaster chalk paint, and I'm even doing it over my home word. Then I'm taking a dry paper towel and wiping everything off, the plaster and the antique wax, and this is what it looks like. Just sort of dirties up the edges a little bit in a stylish way. I'm also going to do the same thing around or across the middle of the home circle, just going on with the plaster and then going on with my damp rag and my antique wax, and then rubbing that all off. I think that this gave this a very farmhousey, vintagey look, and it's really pretty. Next, I'm going to take this ribbon. I actually purchased it at Walmart, a very large roll. I think it was about $5. Not bad at all, but Dollar Tree has tons of ribbons that you can purchase. I just cut one strip, folded it over to be a bow, and then cut another strip for tails. I tied them both together with a piece of twine. I cut off the excess of the twine and used hot glue to attach this to the top of my home sign. Of course, you could go a little bit to the side if you wanted to. I just thought it looked nice on top. And then I'm taking some boxwood greenery, which I usually purchase at Walmart, and I am going to be applying it to either side of this bow. But first I do dovetail my ends by just folding them in half and cutting a small triangle upward. Then I just use hot glue to stagger a few of these pieces of boxwood greenery that I removed from the stem on either side like so. You can get this as full or as sparse as you like. This DIY is very customizable. You could change your paint and wax colors. You could, of course, change your ribbon. You could even use different types of greenery. Eucalyptus would be pretty on either side of this, or even florals. So the sky is the limit, but I think this is very inexpensive, very cute, and a really nice addition to a vignette or even a door, or you could even pop this into a larger wreath. Okay, let's jump right into our next DIY, where I'm going to share with you this adorable standing shelf that is perfect use for a K-cup holder or a decorative shelf. There's many uses that you could get out of this DIY, but I'm going to begin with 3 of these little boxes from Dollar Tree with tags. Now they come in a small and a large size. I decided to use the larger size, but you could make another one of these that's a small size for next to it, or you could make a couple of these sets and glue them together for a larger shelf. The sky is the limit. I also found these wall shelves at Dollar Tree, and I removed the rope hangers. I flipped one of these shelves upside down and I spaced out my 3 wooden drawers just to see how I wanted them. I used the other shelf to make sure that they were straight. I'm sure there are better ways if you're really worried about them being straight, but I just did this and eyeballed it and it turned out just fine. I used hot glue to attach these, although I do recommend using a super glue or an wreath 6000. Hot glue worked for me for video purposes and my shelf seems to be pretty sturdy. Once I got all 3 drawers glued down, then it was time to attach the other side. I just added some hot glue to the middle of each one of my drawers, and then I placed the other board on top of it. So here's what that looks like. And I do take some tacks, and we painted them with antique wax so that we could place them in the holes of those boards. Unfortunately, the antique wax rubbed way off, but I do think that these tacks look really cute in the holes. We just snipped off the ends and hot glued the tacks down. And here's what it looks like, a beautiful decorative piece, or it is perfect for K-cups or any small items. I just think it's another take on a tiered tray. And I was inspired by watching one of Cindy's most recent videos where she shared tons of wooden organizer ideas using Dollar Tree items. Okay guys, my next idea is this beautiful farmhouse wreath using items that I mostly had on hand. So I had this green wreath form from Dollar Tree that I had covered with this kind of burlap ribbon from another DIY. So I'm going to be using this as well as some ribbon that I had on hand. I believe it was from Hobby Lobby. It's this beautiful cream colored ribbon, and then I had these roses from Walmart in my stash that I'd used from a previous DIY, and I also had some eucalyptus. So I'm going to start by just wrapping this ribbon around part of my wreath form, I would say about half, and then gluing it down. I just wanted the contrast of colors, but you could do this with any 2 contrasting ribbons. Next, I'm just going to take some of my roses that were on the longer stems and kind of swag them back and forth to get a base to glue the rest of my eucalyptus and my roses on top of. So here I'm just laying out my longer pieces, and once I do that, I'm going to go around the middle with an extra piece of that coordinating ribbon that I used to hold everything down to also be decorative, and then I just have a better base to glue more florals and more eucalyptus around. So here's what I did, just gluing it down, wrapping it around a couple times and gluing it down the other end. I cut off the excess, and then I just filled in either side as full as I wanted it with these beautiful florals, adding in the eucalyptus as needed as well, but you could use any florals, any greenery, whatever you like. I just did this quite full because that's how I like my floral arrangements, but you don't have to have yours as full as I did. I really just played around with it, had fun with it, and got it to where I liked the way it looked. And then I had a beautiful wreath. You could apply a sign to the other side if you wanted to, something small, a decorative item, but I honestly thought that as simple as this is, it's beautiful and elegant and has that little farmhouse flair. So this is how I chose to leave mine, and I love it. I displayed it with a Highland cow photo that I got from Temu, but you could use this on a door, a wall, a vignette. I just think it is so pretty. And if you use florals that you have from your stash and a wreath form from your stash like I did, this only costs a few dollars and gives some items a new life. Okay, for our next DIY, this one is inspired by Heidi Somble DIY. I have shared several things that she has inspired me to make, but I just thought
This was so cute, and to me it looked like something that she would totally do. So here is some Dollar Tree rub-on transfers, and here is a Dollar Tree sign. I also have this little envelope sign from Fall from Dollar Tree and some scrapbook paper. I'm going to cut the hanger off the envelope sign, and I'm just going to place my scrapbook paper down inside of the little envelope and use my fingernail to create a ridge so I know where to cut. I am then going to place some glue stick on the back of the envelope and also on the back of my scrapbook paper, and just adhere the two together by pressing firmly. Once that is all done, I'm going to go ahead and paint the outside with some Waverly Celery chalk paint. Originally, I was going to leave it the silver color, but I decided to do it this way. Now I'm going to glue my envelope down to my sign and come in with these rub-on transfers. I'm going to be cutting the transfers into pieces and just rubbing them all around this envelope. I just had one of these rub-on transfers, which wasn't quite enough. I guess maybe if I spaced it a little bit more apart, I could have made it work, but I would recommend getting two if you can, or if you can't and you have another rub-on transfer that blends in okay with this, you could do that. I had another rub-on transfer that I'm going to show you here in a second from Dollar Tree, and I just used a couple pieces of that. It kind of blended in, and I don't think you can tell the difference. But again, if you can get two of the spring rub-on transfers, that would be great. I created a little bow with that gorgeous lace crochet ribbon from Dollar Tree and glued it to the top of my sign at an angle. In my envelope, I put some little pieces of eucalyptus from Walmart, and I think this is so cute, but you could put anything that you like inside of your little envelope for display. I then decided to jazz it up a little bit further by taking another strip of that same ribbon and running it across the bottom of my envelope and just gluing it down. So here is what this looks like. I just think it is so cute and dainty, and I got the idea while watching Heidi Semble's video again. So that just goes to show you can get all kinds of ideas when you watch someone who inspires you and triggers your creativity.
So that is it for today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed it and got some inspiration. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't, and also give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. Happy Easter weekend. Stay safe and be blessed, my friends.
You can subscribe to my mom's channel, and thank you for watching today's craft and stay safe.